Hello, fashion lovers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Betsy. If you're just coming across my channel for the first time, you are highly welcome. In today's video, I'll be taking you through the process of sewing a corporate trouser with side pocket and front fly. If this is something you're interested in, I'll say keep on watching, hit the subscribe button so that you get notified when I upload new video. So let's get right into the video. The materials required are 2 yards of any fabric of your choice. I'm making use of this plain fabric. Then interfacing your thread, your zipper. You can make use of a short zipper. I couldn't find one, and also your pattern paper. So the next thing is to place your fabric on fold. After laying it on fold, we'll go ahead and place our pattern paper on it, leaving enough fabric where we'll be adding our seam allowances. Next thing we have to do is to fold in the free line so that we can work with just the fitted pant line. Now that we are done with that, we'll just go ahead and add half of an inch seam allowance all around the pattern like you see me do. Then we go in with our ruler to connect our seam lines like you see me do. Now that is done, on the center front cross line, we'll be going out by 1.5 inches from the seam line that we just marked earlier, okay? So we'll mark that down and use our straight ruler to connect that point. Next, we're going with our scissors to cut through the lines that we just marked, okay? Once that is done, go in with your scissors to notch the dart line. Then you do the same thing for the pocket line. Go ahead to notch those points like you see me do. Now that is done, we'll just take out our pattern and extend our darts, okay? We want the dart to be longer than what is on the pattern, so we'll just go ahead and mark 4.5 inches from that point like you see me do. Once you have marked that down, you go over to your pattern and cross check what you have from the center front cross line to the dart line, and then you just impute that measurement, okay? Now that you have done that, you just mark it in a triangular form like we did for the pattern. Go ahead with your scissors and notch that area. On the front cross extension line, we'll go in with our measuring tape, mark out half of an inches, which is our seam allowance. Then from that point, we'll mark where our hip line is. Now that we have achieved that, on the hip line, we're going to go in by half of an inch and connect it like a curve, okay? Then we go in with our scissors to trim off whatever excess that we have there. Now that is done, we're working on the back pattern. All right, so we'll place our fabric on fold and also fold in the free pants line because we want to work with the fitted line. Next, we add in half of an inch seam allowance like we did for the front. Now that we have done that, we'll just go in with our scissors to cut through the lines. Next, we'll notch the back seam where we'll be joining and also the dart. And then on the dart line, we'll be extending it by 5.5 inches. So we'll take out the pattern and extend that by 5.5. After marking out the dart, ensure that you're doing the same thing for the other side of the fabric, okay? Then on the back cross extension, we'll be connecting it like we did for the pattern using our curve ruler like so. To cut the pocket, place a fabric underneath it on fold and lay your trouser front pattern on it, and then we'll mark out the length that we want to work with. With your scissors, trim the sides of the trouser like you see me do so that it's going to have the shape, the pocket is going to have the shape of the pants, alright? After trimming that off, we just want to determine the length we're working with. I'll be working with 6 to 7 inches, okay? So let's just flip it this way. We are going to fold in the front pattern like this and then trim off the pocket inside, the pocket that we are trying to get. Once that is done, we'll just flip it outward and place it on the trouser so that we'll know what we are working with. All right, we'll go in with our scissors to notch where the pocket line is. Okay, do the same thing for the other side and notch where the pocket line is. Now that we have done that, we need to determine the length of the pocket we'll be working it. For my case, I'm working with 12 inches, so I'll just go in and trim that off. Then I'll determine the wideness that I want. For this is 6 inches, I'll just trim that off. Okay, then on this we need to curve it in, so you can just blend it in like this and trim that off. So trim it in such a way that you are satisfied. Okay, it should be curvy like you see me do. Use your chalk to mark out the wrong side of the fabric, and then we'll be cutting another two pieces of this. So we'll just place it like so and go in with our scissors to cut through. So now we have four pieces of this. One will be serving as the pocket facing, while the other will be serving as the pocket pouch. We've gone ahead to attach one small piece of interfacing on the pocket line. Now that we have done that, we'll just iron that down. After pressing that down, on the front side of the trouser, we'll be marking out our pocket line like so, and then we'll place our facing on it. Ensure that you're placing this on the front side or not the wrong side. Then you rule that connecting the pocket line, ensuring the notches are matching each other. So we'll be sewing on that line like so. We have gone ahead to stitch that down. We'll just flip it this way and we'll be top stitching on this point here on the facing. All right, we'll do the same thing for the other side of the pocket. Now that we have top stitched on that line, we're just going to flip it like this and trim off the excess inside like so. Now that we are done with that, we're just going to go in with our iron and iron that down. Next, we'll go in with the pocket facing and place it on the pocket like this. All right, ensure that you're making use of the correct facing. Okay, so place it in such a way that the front is facing front and the wrong side is facing inside, and ensure the notches are meeting each of these points like so. Okay, we'll go ahead and pin that down. Now our pocket is almost ready. What we'll just do is to go and sew in the sides like this. All right, you can choose to sew it like this and weave it, but for me I'll be sewing mine inward. All right, because I don't want the rough edge to show, so you're just going to do that. I've gone ahead to sew mine like so. So the next thing I'm just going to do is to press that down. The pocket is almost ready, so we'll just go ahead to stitch this point and come back. Now that we are done stitching that point, we'll just go. The next thing we have to do is to hold in our darts. All right, so we'll just do that now. So we are done doing that. All right, so we'll just go in with our irons to press the seam flat. That's basically all for the sewing of the pocket. In my next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to go about the sewing of the zipper fly and also fixing of the band. Stay tuned. See you in my next tutorial, and do not forget to turn on your notification bell so that you get notified when I upload new videos.